Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Cod Isbell Field. Game 3, series finale between the TLU Bulldogs and the Southwestern Pirates. Easton Allen, along with Chris Jones, back with y'all on the call. And Chris, we got a little different weather scenery here this afternoon.
You know, it is a beautiful day here at the Cod Isbell Field. You know, great day for some baseball. You know, there's no condition I'd rather play in, so you know, it's always exciting getting to come support the Bulldogs as they get a win, rain or shine, or fog or no fog.
Yeah. So we got Tristan McGowan on the mound for the Bulldogs getting the start. Team leader in ERA and I believe in the conference as well this season. McGowan's had a heck of a season so far. 2.32 ERA, 4-2 record, making start number 7 for him this season. Opposing batter just hitting .209 against him as Connor Duffy back in the leadoff spot like he was in Game 1 as he pops this one up towards fairly deep center, but Cameron Miller underneath it to make the play for out number 1.
And, you know, Easton, I think, you know, I'll digress like I did yesterday. I'm no baseball expert, but, you know, playing in the rain like this, you know, it makes it a lot tougher on the pitcher.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to see, you know, probably a pretty high-scoring game here today. Of course, I could be wrong. We could have another rock fight like Game 2, but, you know, we'll see.
You say the rock fight. That rock fight turned into a pretty exciting finish yesterday.
No kidding. What a win there for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, fans, in case you missed it yesterday. So 9-6 win in Game 1, kind of a high-scoring affair back and forth. But Game 2, the Bulldogs were in control for most of the game, 2-0 with Nolan McInville getting the start, putting together a quality win. But
the Bulldogs facing Silas Jones for most of that game, who was very solid for the Pirates. And a little note I guess we have for you guys, a little bit different camera angle today due to the weather. We can't have that outfield camera. I know it's probably a little bit more nice on the eyes for viewing pleasure, but we are doing the best we can here today.
Got the old-fashioned just broadcast camera up here today.
Absolutely.
But now we got James Vaquero back up, still in this 2 spot. Vaquero, one of the top leaders in the conference in batting average, but been a little quiet this series. Did hit a homer in Game 1. And right now looking at a 3-1 count between him and McGowan.
Okay. 3-1 now to Vaquero.
Fastball high and not going to get the call, so James Vaquero earns the walk to give the Pirates their first base run of the game. And, you know, going into this game, Chris, Southwestern definitely playing with a little different edge. They don't, of course, don't want to get swept in this series. They're definitely playing the chance to just get a win before they leave Seguin this weekend.
For sure. And, you know, if you're Coach Bunch, almost called him Coach Duffy. He is not the leadoff. But, you know, if you're Coach Bunch, I would stress to my team, guys, we have got to find a way to cheat one back here, you know, because every win in this league counts. And, you know, speaking of which, I want to say Dallas found a way to beat Trinity in a game yesterday, you know, and that's one of your bottom teams taking on the top team, you know, and every win matters. Every game counts. You always have an opportunity to find a win here. And so Pirates going to look to do that here in Game 3.
Yeah. Nice change up there from McGowan. 1-1 count here to number 40, Wyatt Kulo, first baseman, as we check on Vaquero, and he gets to slide into the muddy infield we have today. And unfortunate, too, because Chris, Southwestern, I know it's a TLU broadcast, but they got some pretty sweet uniforms today, kind of off-white, cream look.
Cream color, I like them.
They're going to get dirty today, probably. This one laced into right field. Durkin with the catch, and they can look to double him up. Vaquero took off thinking it was a single, and the Bulldogs double him up. We saw that yesterday, Chris.
Absolutely. And a great start here from the Bulldog defense, you know. Like to see it, a good quick, you know, top of the first there. And Bulldogs going to look to get it going when we get back here on offense. So please stay with us.
I chose TLU because I like the one-on-one that I get with my professors.
Being able to talk to all the professors one-on-one, they're definitely helpful in deciding like what I can do with my degree and then how to get into those different fields.
I liked the tour of the campus. Like, I liked seeing how everything was really close together. Our classes now from like first year and second year are all in the lab, so we have our own like space that we can go to for studying.
Well, I chose TLU because I had met some people who were in the program, and they told me some good things about it. It's a smaller school, so I feel like I was going to get more of that one-on-one type of learning.
I get to, be more hands-on with patients and more engaged with my preceptors and my professors and my classmates as well.
Welcome back, fans. Cal Isabel Field, as we got number 51, Stephen Rutherford, the lefty, on the mound for the Pirates.
Out for the Bulldogs is the leadoff, Mason Godot. Godot yesterday had a good day in both games, and he drove in some important runs, I think, there early in the third game and give the Bulldogs a lead. So,
yeah. Godot, 6'2" junior out of Liberty, Texas, as he hits that one towards opposite field, kind of carrying a bit at the deep right, but going to be caught shy of the warning track on the run there by Duffy for out number 1. But rare to see Godot get under a ball like that. See him drive it out there. Pretty good contact there.
Now, kind of the man of the hour, so to say, Chase Bourgeois, had a huge triple yesterday, and he actually is now 4th all-time for TLU for triples in a season, and he's in 2nd place nationally for triples with 6 on the year. So, interesting little statistic there. Will we see a triple from Chase Bourgeois today? I sure hope so.
I hope so too.
Anyhow, 1-0 count to him.
Rutherford lays in a strike there, and Rutherford this season a really solid ERA at 3.34, 2-1 record, making start number 7 on the year. 33 strikeouts to just 17 walks, so a good ratio as well. And I got to see him pitch quite a bit last season as well. As there's Bourgeois. That one hit on a good line out to the left, but goes foul.
Thought that one there might have a chance to sneak fair, but not quite.
Bourgeois does a good job too of always finding a way to put the ball in the right spots, at least in the outfield. When he got some good pop with his bat, and if he gets it down in the gaps, he's thinking 3 more often than not as he looks at a ball there.
He's so quick around the bases. I mean, he just was flying around yesterday. It was really fun to watch, and that's probably what helps him get some of those triples. Some guys would maybe stop as they're around second. He's going to go for it.
This one, he pops up in a shallow part of the infield as Kulo comes over to make the play. First baseman for out number 2. And that'll set up Cash Durkin with 2 outs and nobody on.
And Cash Durkin here, both teams, early, how it is. They're just trying to feel it out, and they're trying to feel out Rutherford and what he's going to be like. And Rutherford's giving him a look. I would say closer to Silas Jones than the guy who pitched the first game. A little bit taller frame, some speed. But Rutherford has a little more, side-to-side movement, kind of releases the ball a little bit wider through his frame than the other two. Not so, up and down.
Yeah.
And so.
And that one going to run in and hit Durkin on the leg there.
But, we'll see, Rutherford. And I'm interested to see, a lot of times when guys have a wider throwing and release point, they slow down as they throw. But, we'll see with him today. But always an interesting challenge, every time you come out and have to learn the pitcher and how it's going to go.
So I got Drew Burnett stepping up, and Burnett kind of the man of the hour yesterday. And he had a heck of a game, too, getting the start. 3 RBIs to help the Bulldogs get the win in exciting fashion before Matthew Elizondo had that walk-off base hit.
And, Drew Burnett had 2 line drives up right field and, had himself quite a day. And, earned the DH again today here.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And we'll see Adam Peavy on deck there. He's playing at first today. So small lineup change to keep Burnett in the lineup, but Peavy come back in it as well. Tyler Helpin still getting the day off today as Burnett takes a rip at that one. Comes up empty. You're going to be 1-2. Durkin over there at first after the hit by pitch, and 2 down here in the bottom of the first. A 1-2 count to Burnett. Local Seguin product.
Always got to shout out Coach Burnett, his dad, longtime Bulldog baseball coach, and kind of the strength coach for everybody over at the fitness center.
No, he's probably watching right now as well.
Absolutely.
2-2 count here to Drew. Pitch from Rutherford and swinging a miss, foul tip into the catcher's glove as Burnett goes down on strikes, and Durkin will be stranded at first. So we'll go top 2 as both pitchers off to a good start in this one. Please stay with us.
As an MAT student, you are an athletic trainer, and I think that's something really cool that we get to experience.
We're pretty hands-on. Anything that our preceptor asks us to do, we're able to do. Going out to practices and traveling to games.
We're doing evals, looking at them, helping them with their rehab protocols.
For me personally, I do a lot of hands-on where I'm speaking with the patients about how they feel. And so I feel like it's a lot of one-on-one interactions.
Knowing that I'm going to go into the clinic every day and I don't know who's going to walk through the door and what their problem's going to be, and that I get to be the one that tells them hey, this is what's wrong, but I can also help you, so here's a solution.
Welcome back, folks, to Cowdersville Field. Top of the second. Tristan McGowan back to work for TLU. And still face off against number 13 of the Pirates, Christian Malillo. Had himself a good day yesterday at the plate. One of the top bats on this Pirate roster. Batting .354 this season. As McGowan fastball in their first strike, 1-1. Another fastball. That one just misses outside. 2-1 here between McGowan and Malillo. An advantage too, Chris, probably for Tristan McGowan is yesterday he got in 2 games, got to kind of watch and analyze how these Southwestern batters how they operated at the plate, and now he gets a chance to face them himself, but kind of got to sit and watch yesterday and
Yeah, absolutely.
pick up some things.
Would agree with you there.
You know, we could finally make kind of comments about that because it's our first full series calling every game
true,
together.
yeah.
So 2-2 count after the foul ball. This one giving a ride out to the left center gap. Godot on track of it though, and he's going to make the play out in left center. Good run there by Godot, and he makes the play for out number 1. So following Malio will be Trace Orgon, the second baseman. And then Coronado to follow. First pitch swinging there for Organa. That one laced into right field for a base hit, and thought about turning 2, but he'll come back. You got to be careful too with the wet conditions on the field today.
Yeah.
He almost slipped just like Vaquero earlier.
Yeah, Vaquero on that double play kind of got ahead thinking it was going to be a single, and then when he tried to turn back after it was caught, yeah, he slipped and fell, and it ultimately got him got. So got to be careful today. Now up to the plate for the Pirates is Coronado.
Coronado playing out in center field today. As first pitch from McGowan from the stretch. Chopper to second. 4-6. Can they turn 2? They won't, as that one kind of bounced at the PV. Good snag by Adam over there at first, but I don't think got there in time. Nice flip from Cooper Jen, but infield unable to complete the double play.
Pretty close right there.
Uh-huh.
You know, we'll look at the replay. You know, just right up the middle there. Just right at Cooper Jen, so he goes. Little flip over to Bourgeois. Just can't quite get that throw down. It's close, though.
Bulldogs do get the force out at second, so 2 down in the inning. And Coronado at first for Tanner Tefts at the plate now. The third baseman. Back in the 7 spot. And it's Green behind the plate today.
Sorry about that. Discussing, we flipped the camera, changed it, we set up another one, a little bit zoomed further in.
Yeah. Still got the same one, but during the pitches we'll have the zoomed in camera here. Shout out to Nick Trumbull up here, cameraman. And of course, still got our wide view as well that we'll flip to when plays are out in the field. But a 1-2 count here between McGowan and Tefts. Now going to bounce up to Chance Green. As he'll corral it quickly, nothing for Coronado to do, who does have some speed as a center fielder on this Pirate roster. He was just able to beat out that throw. Bourgeois that almost got him. That was a good stretch too by Peavy. He had to collect it because in the conditions today, be able to snag that one even bouncing up to him was big time. As meanwhile, that's a big time pitch there from McGowan. Got him looking. Strike 3 as that's going to end the top of the second and strand Coronado at first. We'll go bottom 2. Please stay with us.
I chose TLU because I like the one-on-one that I get with my professors.
Being able to talk to all the professors one-on-one, they were definitely helpful in deciding like what I can do with my degree and then how to get into those different fields.
I liked the tour of the campus. Like I liked seeing how everything was really close together. Our classes now from like first year and second year are all in the lab, so we have our own like space that we can go to for studying.
Well, I chose TLU because I had met some people who were in the program and they told me some good things about it. It's a smaller school, so I feel like I was going to get more of that one-on-one type of learning.
I get to, be more hands-on with patients and more engaged with my preceptors and my professors and my classmates as well.
Welcome back, fans. Adam Peavy going to lead off the bottom of the second for us. It'll be Peavy, Sprensel, and Miller due up for TLU. Bulldogs 12-5 in SCAC play now. They continue to pull together some wins. They're still sitting at third place right now, kind of comfortably in third. They're a few games back of Concordia, but also a couple games ahead of St. Thomas. So kind of firmly in that third spot in the standings.
Absolutely, and PV getting a piece of that one. 1-1 count to him. But yeah, the SCAC standings, the Bulldogs, I want to say they were in third place and, trying to move up, trying to battle, a little bit behind Concordia and Trinity, but, every win counts.
And you knew, too, adding a couple of ASC teams, Concordia, we knew they were going to be a great team added to the league with baseball and basketball, too. But this proud baseball program, they're second right now, first year in the SCAC. And also McMurray surprises people in fifth
solid.
right now, 11-7 in conference.
Correct.
So a couple of newcomers making their presence felt in the conference early. Meanwhile, 3-1 count here between Peavy and Rutherford as Adam Peavy sits on that one and drives it into left field. Good strong swing from Peavy, and he earned himself a leadoff base hit.
Good spot there for him. That is going to bring up Sprensel to the box now.
We got to see Braden do some pitching at the end of game 2, Chris.
He did.
Utility guy for the Bulldogs, back at third base. Versatile guy for this team.
Did give up a couple runs there, but ultimately, kept his head on strong and, helped the Bulldogs close out that game.
Yeah.
So, becoming a huge asset for the Bulldogs here this year. Really come into his role.
Yeah.
A 1 count to him.
This one, Sprensel chops foul over towards first. Going to go to an 0-2 count now for the third baseman. So one notes on Rutherford, 6'1" senior from Houston, Texas, went to Klein Forest High School. As strike 3 swinging there for Braden Sprensel as Rutherford got him reaching for it. And that's how the Pirates record the first out of the inning. So Sprensel goes down, and now that'll bring up Cameron Miller, who we've seen more and more time as these games have gone on. Kind of seen a mix of him and Aiden Spires out in center this season. But Miller gets the start again. Started in game 2 yesterday as first pitch there. A little slider in for a strike. Oh, 1 outside for a ball as Miller looks at that one. One 1. Miller chops it through the 5-6 hole as well, and that's going to be another base hit into left field for the Bulldogs.
About that same spot there as PV.
Uh-huh.
And, the Bulldogs here making them work, And, I don't want to comment too much, but, we see the explosivity. I think I said that well enough. But, we see how the Bulldog offense can just explode and pour in runs in an inning. So, already 2 hits here in this bottom of the second, more active than any of the early innings yesterday. So,
yeah. His Bulldog offense. Yeah, his Bulldog offense comes in bunches, as we've liked to say over these last few games. I mean, they're going to be due. When you see the final box score, you might see some zeros on there, but there's going to be a couple innings where there's 3 or 4 runs in each one of those. So now bunt shown by Chance Green, and going to miss that one. Going to go down 0-2 now as Peavy's at second and Miller's at first.
That pitch a little bit high to try and bunt that one.
here to Green with 1 out.
I thought Peavy was going to
Yeah,
take off there for a second. That would have caught me a little bit off guard.
Looks pretty aggressive over there on the base pass. You know, he was quick to take off, too, on a couple of these foul balls as of late as well. A little different mindset for him out there on the base pass. 1-2 count here to Green. And swing and a miss there. Got him chasing it. And Green will be retired for out number 2. So a couple of strikeouts this inning for Rutherford, but also is giving up some base hits. And now that'll set things up for number 48, the freshman Cooper Jen. First pitch Jen sees, he drives out the center. Going back a little bit is Duffy and makes the play relatively routine, but nice drive there from Jen. Not able to get down, and we'll go to the top of the third. Bulldogs strand a couple, but the offense starting to get going as we go to the top of the third. Please stay with us.
At Texas Lutheran University, we believe a better world is possible, and it all starts with you. For more than a century, we've been preparing students just like you to follow their dreams and embrace their potential. With small class sizes to facilitate relationship building and affordable tuition, we're committed to you. Because at TLU, you're not just a student, you're part of a community. TLU. Learn boldly, live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
Yes, sir. DJ Lewis, you watching TLU Plus, and we got it. Let's get it.
You're watching TLU Plus.
And welcome back, folks. Top of the third here. Bulldogs coming off a pretty good offensive showing right there. Now going to look to get a stop here on defense. 2 hits, a good job. Now McGowan going to look to get 3 stops.
And got an 8-9-1 due up for the Pirates as it's number 33 Stevenson DHing again in the 8 spot for Southwestern. Then it's Foyer and then Duffy in the leadoff spot. Kind of monitoring the weather as we go. It seems like the drizzling's kind of come to a stop. It's definitely misty at the very least out there and plenty humid with clouds as this one popped up way up shallow left field, and Mason Godot will call off Chase Bourgeois wisely there. And you always want to see your outfielder make the call as he's running up. Easier for him to make the play, and that's what Godot does there. So Stevenson pops out, and now Ben Foyer coming back up, the sophomore from Houston.
Oh, McGowan finds the outside of the zone right there. Great pitch there.
Chris, me and you were kind of blessed to see some amazing pitching last game, in game 2 between Jones and McInville. We saw those two were dealing all game, really, and McGowan now, another top arm in the SCAC we get to watch today.
Absolutely, and, we got to see a kid from Trinity that, has been so dominant as well. We've been pretty lucky, despite our limited appearances on the mic, getting to see some good teams and good games.
Yeah. Two-one count here to Foyer, the shortstop. That one runs inside. That get him? I think it did. Might have got a bit of the arm there.
And Cooper Jen's pretty tough. I think he'll be all right. And, he's going to take his base. Oh, my goodness, that's Foyer.
Yeah, there you go. I was waiting for you to catch yourself. No, 9-hole hitter, you know.
Very sorry, Mimi.
We had Ben Foyer's grandma help us out with the pronunciation of her grandson's name, and now he takes a bit of a lick there on the forearm from McGowan's fastball, and now he's at first base. So it's good you apologize to her, though.
You know how these Sunday games can be, especially with the weather like this. That was always one of my favorite kind of remarks. Sometimes the officiating on Sunday, especially in soccer, the officials would be a little bit slow, and gross weather like this can be a bit slow, so I apologize.
Yeah, Foyer at first, and now Connor Duffy back at the top of the order. Flew out the center his first time up. And a 1-1 count here with one down. Foyer with a pretty small lead over there at first base as McGowan's fastball misses outside. 2-1.
And Pirates got to be, weary of Chance Green there behind the plate. He's very capable of kind of sliding over and throwing somebody down.
Yeah.
So being a little bit cautious.
Mm-hmm.
3-1 now for McGowan.
Always the benefit, too, of your having senior catchers, both teams, Vaquero and Green. They're always hyper aware and can catch you sleeping anywhere on the base pass. As it's 3-1 now. McGowan will try to catch Foyer sleeping, but gets back in safely. And strike two. Swing and miss there. Nice fastball. High and inside. Almost thought it was the strike three pitch there. I was ready to call a strikeout.
Full count now. Going to take a check over at first. Foyer quick back to that bag.
Awaiting the payoff pitch here. 3-2, one down in the inning. And one more check on Foyer, but back in safely. I think he just wants him to ruin his jersey right now. But McGowan.
Yeah, McGowan, too, probably being patient. This is an important pitch for him right here, so probably taking his time, throw off the batter a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Payoff pitch, strike three, swinging.
And whatever
fastball blown right by him.
Whatever McGowan was doing, it worked for him
Mm-hmm.
right there. See, he earns another strikeout. Bringing up now Vaquero to the box for the Pirates.
Vaquero drew a walk his first time up.
Still have Foyer over there on first.
First pitch from McGowan, and that one tried to paint the outside corner. Just missed it there against Vaquero. Pretty good matchup here. You got a top 5 batter in the SCAC along with a top ERA guy going at it right here. That one going outside and gets out of the glove of Chance Green, and that's going to be a free base for Ben Foyer. Just kind of out of the tip of the glove there. And McGowan there kind of taking a bit of the blame, it looked like. As Green had to get up out of his stance to make that catch. So 2-0 count here, 2 down, runner on second. Biggest run threat so far for Southwestern early on in this one as That one runs a bit inside for McGowan. And it's 3-0 now. And that one stays upstairs and not drop in for McGowan. So a 4-pitch walk for James Vaquero, another one for him. And that puts 2 aboard now with 2 down.
And, that's an okay guy to walk right there.
Absolutely.
Someone who can, very much make something happen, with his bat. So, anyhow, that'll bring up Kulo at the plate. Runners on second and first. 2 down for the Bulldogs.
First pitch swinging for Kulo. Pretty good right out the center. But Cameron Miller right underneath it for out number 3. And the Bulldogs will strand 2 as well, as we'll go bottom 3. Still scoreless in this one. Please stay with us.
More than dream of a better world. Make it happen with a TLU degree. Texas Lutheran University provides one-on-one opportunities for students to build their college resumes. As freshmen and sophomores, our students are already performing research with a professor, presenting at conferences, and building their portfolios to apply for graduate schools and professional health programs. The world needs you. Answer your calling. TLU. Learn boldly. Live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
Welcome back to Cottisville Field. Bottom of the third is Mason Godot, first pitch swinging. Godot with a little lift on the ball there out the center, but going to be caught.
And back-to-back flyouts for Godot.
Yeah.
It's kind of uncharacteristic there, but like the aggressiveness at the plate of the Bulldogs.
I do too, and Godot has been real aggressive all series. You've seen a lot of first pitch swinging from him. And it worked to his favor yesterday with a couple of flyouts to start his day. Now Chase Bourgeois back up. Set a fastball up near the chest there for strike 1.
That one outside there. 1-1 count now to Bourgeois.
Rutherford this time going to have that one stay outside. Chris, I'm actually liking the new camera that we have here.
It's different, yeah, but it's nice. Absolutely.
If we don't have the camera behind, I know ideally we like the one from the outfield, but this one starting to like as well as Bourgeois. Puts that one right in between left fielder and shortstop, put it in a perfect spot. That's going to bloop in for a base hit for the shortstop.
And how about that? Yeah, I mean, can't really put that in a better spot there.
Yeah, take a look at that one.
Now the Bulldogs kind of in the best part of the lineup here.
Yeah.
3-hole Cash Durkin coming up to the plate with some room to work here.
Also got Bourgeois' speed over there as Durkin first pitch swinging. That one gets past.
Bourgeois going to turn the corner. He gets to third.
And now kind of a poor throw in. Durkin almost thought about going for two, but Cash Durkin, hard hit ground ball that got through into right field. Nice swing there from Durkin, and Bulldogs put runners at the corners with only one out.
And now, bringing up arguably your best hitter, your DH, Drew Burnett, with, runners in great position. So we'll see what Burnett can do here at the plate.
We just mentioned Bourgeois' speed on the base pass, and you get hard hit ball from Durkin, and Chase didn't even think twice about turning around from second. He kept on going to third. As now showing bunt there is Burnett with one down, trying to get some small ball to crack the scoreboard here in this one.
And showing bunt here.
Yeah, that was second baseman coming over to protect it as they checked on first base in the process.
Interesting way to cover right there.
Yeah.
Bring up your second baseman to stay with the guy there on first.
And while Orgon did that, we saw Foyer kind of cover the second base bag as well. You see them talking to each other there, Foyer and Orgon, the middle infielders. 1-1 to Burnett. And Drew lays off that one wisely for ball two. Bulldogs got the part of the order they want up with Burnett and then PV to follow. Only one out here in the third. Good pitch there from Rutherford. Kind of froze Drew there for strike two.
Kind of right there on the outside there. The strike zone. Good spot. 2-2 count.
Durkin at first, Bourgeois at third. Pitch from Rutherford from the stretch. Fastball just misses as Burnett, staying disciplined there, forces the count full. 3-2. And that one, ball four. Burnett laying off, knowing the strike zone. As Rutherford just missed those last couple of spots, and Drew Burnett earns the walk.
And great discipline there from Burnett. Showed bunt, got them to move how they needed them to, and, the discipline to watch and not reach for anything. Knowing you have people in good position, and not, itching at the chain there.
Yep. And now with the bases loaded, Coach Bunch going to call time and have a chat with Rutherford and Vaquero on the bump there as bases loaded scenario for Adam Peavy, and he loves these spots. Already has a base hit where he kind of roped into left field, so he's seeing the ball well to start this one. And chance for the Bulldogs to blow this game open here early. First pitch to Peavy, and Peavy lost his bat along with the foul ball. That one. And TLU dugout made sure to grab it for him and kind of sharing some laughs over there. That was first time I've seen that calling a game in my 4 years here, Chris.
Yeah, that's people, umpires will get on to you for throwing the bat down, but I'm not sure I've ever seen someone throw it quite that far.
Peavy singled his bat almost if it would have stayed in play.
Sure did.
I'm going to blame the weather on that one, though.
Yeah, maybe the grip's wet.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a good cut at that one over at the concession stand.
Now I'm wondering, did he get a different bat?
I think so. I think he did grab a different bat.
Because the bat that he threw after the first pitch went to kind of the edge of the dugout closer to third base, and the bat he grabbed was on the...
And I thought it was bluer, maybe.
Yeah, so I think...
Not red.
Different bat for Peavy here, 0-2. As that one goes outside, good snag from Vaquero, as that one probably prevented a run right there. Almost a wild pitch from Rutherford, 1-2. Even Rutherford's probably a little shaken up from after the bat flying through the air. You know, we see broken bats sometimes.
Yeah.
But bats flying around, coming out of the hands is rare. That one goes above the numbers there of Peavy for a ball, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2. Big pitch here early as that one in the dirt. Peavy lays off and ball 3, so full count here with only 1 out. And chance for a run to come across after this pitch here. Here we go. The 3-2. Peavy sits on it but lines it right to short. And luckily, every Bulldog able to get back in time safely. Really good rip there from Peavy again. Just unfortunately right at Ben Foyer.
That had a chance to do some damage there, you know.
Yeah.
If it's over just a little bit or just a hair bit higher, you know, that would have gotten down before it reached the outfield. But a good play there from the Pirates shortstop.
Yeah.
But now Braden Sprinzel coming up, and Bulldogs going to have another chance here with 2 down.
That one kind of bouncing away, and now Vaquero doing a good job keeping the ball in front of him. He's had to make some tough catches behind the plate in this bases loaded spot. One 0 count here, Sprenzel, and that one goes high, ball 2. You know, Bulldogs seeing him well here early. They haven't really chased too much what they haven't liked from Rutherford so far. As that one able to find the strike zone low for a 2-1 count now. Yeah, Bourgeois at third, Durkin at second, and Drew Burnett at first. Bourgeois and Durkin both singled, and Burnett drew a walk. As Sprenzel takes a rip at that one, comes up empty. And it's going to be strike 2. Another deep count here with the bases loaded. See if this time it could turn into the Bulldogs' favor. The 2-2 to Sprenzel outside, and again Vaquero bouncing up away from him, but keeps it in front. James Vaquero having to do some work right now behind the plate, as we'll get a new baseball in there as well for Rutherford. So full count now, 3-2. Rutherford needing to find the strike zone here. Sprenzel trying to break the game open here. Payoff pitch. Bases loaded, 2 down. And that one got to be ball 4. Says home plate umpire. That's a big one for the Bulldogs as Chase Bourgeois comes across. And we'll try it again here. But the Bulldogs get the first run of the ball game, 1-0. Yeah, that one, Chris, I got a little nervous there. I thought that might have been strike 3.
Yeah, it was close.
Looking. But Braden Sprenzel saw it better than I did, so Bourgeois comes across and everyone moves over. And now this one gets away from Vaquero. And look at Cash Durkin getting in there in time. You know, you kind of had that coming. I thought that was coming soon. You know, Rutherford had a few wild misses earlier that Vaquero was able to stop, but not that time.
Agree with you.
So another run comes across, this time on the wild pitch from Rutherford. So Durkin and Bourgeois both scored. Burnett to third, and Sprenzel's at second now. First base is now empty for Cameron Miller, who had a base hit last time up. And it's now 2-0 TLU.
A bit low there.
Yeah, right now Rutherford just kind of struggling to find the strike zone. You know, you kind of saw this kind of pitching game coming into this one, like you mentioned, Chris, at the top of the broadcast. You know, with the wet air and just kind of the ugly conditions we have on this Sunday. Thought it might be a little tougher challenge for these pitchers. This one, Miller late on the 3-0. A strike there for Rutherford to try to work his way back into the count. Miller, though, in a good spot here to give the Bulldogs some more runs. Breaking ball. Hit over to short. Going to be a tough play over. The throw taking a couple bounces, but it gets there in time. Wow. Not the greatest of throws over there by Foyer, but it was on target and able to beat out Cameron Miller, the center fielder. So they strand a couple to end the bottom of the third, but the Bulldogs still get 2 across. They lead 2-0 going into the top of the fourth. Please stay with us. Welcome back, fans, to Cottersville Field, top 4. As Tristan McGowan now pitching with the lead for the first time. As the Bulldogs were able to steal a couple of runs last half inning. And now facing off against Christian Malillo here is McGowan. It's Malillo, Orgon, and Coronado due up for the Pirates. Four hits so far for the Bulldogs to the Pirates 1. As this one's chopped foul to the left of Peavy. It's going to go 1-1. The 1-1 by McGowan. Fastball going high. 1-2, but McGowan, he's got, first time we gotten to see him this year, Chris, and, velocity's there for him. He's got good movement and the command of the plate, too. He's kind of got all three.
Yes, he does.
And, McGowan's kind of a guy that's just developed and kind of up through this system in his junior year now. 5'11" from Vidor, Texas. Pronounced that right? Yeah, I think I mispronounced that last time. I did.
It is Vidor, Texas. You gotta have a little twang when you say that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, McGowan, was kind of a bullpen guy his first 2 years, and this year he's really become an effective starter, and more than effective at that. He's been having a heck of a year in his junior season. 2-2 up high there from McGowan, so we're going to go full. McGowan's release kind of got like a tight kind of release for him out of his windup, just kind of straight on almost.
Yeah, I would agree.
Really limited movement.
Different from like a Rutherford that's, a little more movement all over the place.
Yeah. That one there, they were going to go over the head of Chance Green for ball 4. So a leadoff walk for Christian Malillo. That's really the only time we see McGowan really give up base runners. He's walked 3 guys now, but only allowed 1 hit up to this point. So really, got to clean up that. Still putting up 3 scoreless innings so far, so he's done his job. bunt shown there, and this one going to be a flip to McGowan. Oh, and Peavy threw it behind him. And he had Jen covering the back as well. That might have been the easier play for him.
Yeah,
Peavy
I would agree with you there.
On his back heels trying to flip it to McGowan, who's running away from him towards first.
Costly error there from the Bulldogs. Yeah. That should have been, can't say routine out, but fairly.
Yeah. You get a hard hit bunt there. Going to play it at the defense's favor, but Peavy unable to take advantage. So Orgon going to reach on the error, and Malio moves over to second with nobody out. So a first costly mistake of the game for the Bulldogs. There's now more bunts being shown. This one going to be popped up behind our heads over here over the press box. And that one had some heat coming off the bat, even though it didn't even move. So Coronado now at the plate. Reached on a fielder's choice last time when the Bulldogs were trying to turn two. That one runs inside, and that might have bounced off the bat than the foot of Coronado, but he looks to be all right. Back to work here, 0-2. McGowan tried to get him to reach, but Coronado lays off.
1-2 now.
We'll check on second base there to buy McGowan some time. 1-2. And strike three, swinging. McGowan got him reaching for it. And Coronado is set down on strikes. Strikeout number 3 now for McGowan. It's a big one to hold the base runners. So one down in the inning for Tanner Teffs, who also struck out last time up. That one misses away for a ball.
And Easton, the weather here, it doesn't seem to be getting any better. I thought maybe some of this would burn off as we got into the afternoon.
Yeah.
Still pretty gross outside.
Right. Rain's starting to pick back up a little bit, it looks like. Just looking at the sidewalk. Seeing the rain fall down as foul tipped for first strike of the AB, 1-1. But the good thing is, though, Bulldogs have had plenty of games canceled this year and pushed back, but we already started this one, and unless lightning's in the area, which I don't think there is, we're going to keep on playing some baseball.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to find the outside of the zone there for strike 2.
One, 2, McGowan. Foul tip there from Teffs. Third baseman fighting to stay alive here as McGowan's starting to retake control of this inning after the walk and then the error. One, 2, up high. McGowan wanted him to chase at that one.
Not a bad look there from McGowan.
Yeah. Two and two, and then we'll check back at second. Two, bit upstairs again from McGowan, so
it stopped there from Green.
Yeah.
And pitch going to be tipped up.
And Sprenzel kind of falling down. I think he made the catch, though. It wasn't easy, but Braden Sprenzel was able to reel it in right along that foul line.
And it wasn't very pretty, but, got it done there. That's all that matters right there. That pop out going to bring us to 2 outs now here in the top of the 4th, bringing up the Pirates' designated hitter, Owen Stevenson.
Those are 2 big outs, Chris, because not only you need the 2 outs, but the way the Bulldogs got them, strikeout and a pop-up, able to hold the runners where they are. And there was just 0 outs in the inning, so now there's 2. And both runners are still at first and second for Stevenson. A 1-0 count there after the miss from McGowan. And a swing and a miss there. McGowan fastball high and outside in a good spot there. That one away from McGowan. 2-1. McGowan not finding the strike zone as much this inning, but still been effective at getting these batters out. It's 2-1 here between him and Stevenson after Stevenson called time, it looked like. Two-1 popped up. That's going to get out of play, though, behind the Southwestern dugout, right on the sidewalk there. Yeah, like you mentioned, Chris, this weather continues to kind of get ugly here.
Yeah, starting to see some droplets off the back of the dugout there. And thank you, Nick, for the little snipe there.
Sorry, no one saw you there, Chris.
Yeah, well, I never know with this dude. Anyhow. 2-2 count. 2 outs now. A little bit outside there from McGowan. And now full count here. This is a pretty important spot he's found himself in. So need a big pitch from McGowan right here and close out this top of the 4th inning.
Absolutely.
Stevenson going to be unwilling to waver and going to battle with him.
Stevenson popped out his first time, looking to do some damage here. Full count, payoff pitch, and fouled off.
Pitch clock almost winded all the way down there for a second. A bit nervous there.
We got a great uniform matchup today, too, Chris. You mentioned the Southwestern Unis, but I'm a big fan of the All Blacks for TLU as well.
Very classic look from the Bulldogs today.
3-2. This one giving a ride out the left field. And Godot unable to grab that one. A bomb from Owen Stevenson. A 3-run shot in the full count. And Stevenson let it ride. And the Pirates going to take a 3-2 lead in this one. That one came off the bat hot.
Yeah, it did. I mean, fastball right down the middle. Full count, and he put a big rip into that one, and big result there for Stevenson. Pirates having a good time over there.
Yep.
Bulldogs going to battle here. Just need one more down right here. Yeah. A little bit of in-the-park scoreboard malfunction.
Yeah. But 3-2, scoreboard at home. So Pirates and Stevenson, I mean, he's been pretty quiet all series, but Owen Stevenson, he has that frame. He knew he had some power, and there he shows it. And a big spot in this game, too. I mean, full count. And 2 down, and able to drive it over to the left field fence. That one was a no-doubter, too.
And Stevenson, all first-team SCAC player last year, due for a big play like that, especially, in kind of a sophomore slump, as we mentioned yesterday.
Yeah, that was his second homer on the season just now. But, yeah, I mean, he's only hitting 132 this year. I mean, you know, Coach Bunch letting him, even though he's lower in the order than he was last year, he's been starting pretty much every game for this Pirate team. And, you know, eventually, that's what a good coach should. You're sticking with your guys, even through a slump.
It really starting to get gross outside.
Yeah,
You know?
I think rain's picking up. We're seeing some more umbrellas popping up left and right. Yes, rain's starting to come down again.
Yeah, as long as the conditions hold, I don't think we'll see any stoppage. But
yeah,
you know, could potentially have a stoppage here.
1-2, and this one popped
Fouled.
up. Yeah,
Way
fouled.
off. Oh, heads up over there.
Yeah. You know, shout out to those are likely Southwestern parents. They got the same tent set up over there. You know, had a great crowd yesterday, and a lot of the fans still came out to today,
Yeah,
even with
this
the
is
conditions.
a great showing for how awful it is to be sitting outside.
I know. You know, we were blessed yesterday to just be in the AC. I think I'm more blessed to be in here today with the rain.
Absolutely. Wouldn't be able to do what we do outdoors, you know.
1-2 here now with the bases empty for Ben Foyer after the three-run homer by Owen Stevenson to really break this game open. As the Pirates were down 2-0, and now they're ahead 3-2. And always good to see, too, how these pitchers respond after giving up hits like that. And they're a little easy ground ball to Cooper Jen, and McGowan responds well. As we will end the top of the fourth. Pirates get a few runs back off the homer of Stevenson. It's 3-2 now. We'll go bottom four. Please stay with us.
I chose TLU because I like the one-on-one that I get with my professors.
Being able to talk to all the professors one-on-one, they were definitely helpful in deciding like what I can do with my degree and then how to get into those different fields.
I liked the tour of the campus. Like, I liked seeing how everything was really close together. Our classes now from like first year and second year are all in the lab, so we have our own like space that we can go to for studying.
Well, I chose TLU because I had met some people who were in the program, and they told me some good things about it. It's a smaller school, so I feel like I was going to get more of that one-on-one type of learning.
I get to, you know, be more hands-on with patients and more engaged with my preceptors and my professors and my classmates as well.
Welcome back, fans. Kyle Isbell Field. Chance Green leading us off this inning with Cooper Jen to follow, and then Mason Godot in the hole. Bulldogs trailing for the first time today, 3-2 here in the bottom of the fourth. Looking for the sweep today, Chris.
Yes, Easton, and it looks like we might have another pitcher from Southwestern warming up, number 36, Walker Shaw. Getting him stretching in behind the dugout over there.
Yeah. This one grounded.
Gonna run it
to
out.
third, and Green gonna be caught out there as Tefts makes a play over there at third. You know, an advantage for us, Chris. In small D3 baseball, we're able to see every part of the stadium and can always point out who's warming up before anyone else knows. You know,
Absolutely.
MLB really can't do that, but
No,
we
you
got
cannot.
we got eyes everywhere.
Sure do.
So Shaw starting to warm up here, but Rutherford's still going strong here in the fourth. See if he can respond. But the Bulldogs did start to get a better read on him last inning with a couple of runs they've scored. They got 4 hits on him as well. I went outside for a ball, 1-1. And that one outside again there for Rutherford. 2-1.
And a little update for some March Madness fans in case you don't have the game on. 34-15, Houston leading Tennessee at the half.
Taking it to them right now.
Absolutely. Maybe a bracket buster for some people, but
not for me at least.
Not for me either. I have faith in the Cougars, but interesting to see.
3-1 now to Cooper Jen. With 1 away as he looks set. Ball 4 outside. Jen earns the 5-pitch walk. And we'll trot on over to first to give the Bulldogs a 1-out base runner. As the rain continues to come down here at Cod Isbell. It was raining hard this morning, then kind of stopped momentarily for the first couple innings, but it's back. Is now back to the top of the order for Mason Godot, 0-1.
And Godot had 2 flyouts earlier in this one today. Looking to get it going here. Kind of reached for that one a little bit there.
OT count here, and Godot reaches for that one again. Strike 3 swinging. As Godot will go down on strikes for the first time today, and that'll be out number 2 of the inning.
Going to be Rutherford's 4th strikeout of the day. Bourgeois back up for the Bulldogs here. Inside there, almost wore that one.
Bourgeois last time up had a base hit and later came around to score the first run of the game. 1 for 2 on the day. That one a bit outside. Vaquero snags it there. Count goes to 2-0.
A bit low there for ball 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and outside
Yeah.
given there. Guess that was probably a little closer than I thought at first, but tough one to eat right there for Bourgeois.
And that one will be ball 4, no doubt about that one. So Jen walks, and now Bourgeois does as well a couple at-bats later. That puts 2 aboard now with 2 down for Cash Durkin. So first pitch there to Durkin. Gets a piece of the outside corner there as Rutherford. Big at bat here for him. Trying to get out of the inning and train a couple more runners if he can. Meanwhile, Durkin going to give the Bulldogs the lead back. 3-2. That one bounces away, and look at Cooper Jen all over that one, reading it gets over there in time. So Jen moves to third. Joao, though, stays at first. And you know what, the conditions today, I like the base runners being aggressive.
Absolutely.
Put the pressure on Vaquero having to get a grip on the ball and get it out of his glove.
Absolutely.
So now runners at the corners for Durkin. And that one outside, ball 2.
So Easton, I just got a notification. South Carolina's women advancing to the Final Four again.
That's got to be 4 or 5 years in a row now.
Very impressive.
And Dawn Staley continuing to.
Yeah, very dominant.
Yeah.
Now, interesting little statistic I saw a couple days ago. Not really a stat, but more of a fact. Division III opponent Pacific Lutheran took down the University of Washington. Pretty crazy to see. Division III school, similar to us really, and take down a huge powerhouse like Washington. Pretty cool.
This is baseball.
It was.
Yeah. Grounded there from Durkin, and when sliding is a shortstop. Foyer, and with the weather conditions today, I think even if you pick that one up clean.
Even if he was upright.
Yeah.
Ball died on the dirt there.
Yeah. I mean, right now around the batter's box, it's completely muddy right now.
It's a war zone down there.
But it works to the Bulldogs' favor as Cooper Jen able to come down to score on the, RBI infield base hit there for Cash Durkin.
Now Burnett up to the plate. Bulldogs equalize 3-3 now.
Bourgeois at second, Durkin at first, and like you said, Chris, tied up 3-3. And I think as the weather continues to get worse and worse, I think more and more runs we'll start to see come across with getting tougher on the defense and the pitchers.
And the funny thing is, according to Apple, it's just cloudy right now.
Not quite. At least that caught Isabel.
Yeah. I'm going to say my weather report's a little bit different. But anyhow.
Yeah, rain steadily coming down. Infield getting a little muddy. But the Bulldogs starting to rewrite the ship here. As we're tied at 3, Drew Burnett now. Looks at a strike there. That one a tough call. Not necessarily agree with that one, but it's going to go 1-1.
Anyhow. 1-1 to Burnett.
Pitch from Rutherford, and Burnett swings and misses at that one, but he got a piece of it as it goes towards the backstop. It'll be 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Burnett. Well, slider, strike 3 looking. Wow, that one put in a really tough spot. Burnett does not get the call, and Rutherford able to get out of the inning, but the Bulldogs do get 1 run back to tie it up at 3 going to the top of the 5th. Please stay with us. All right, welcome back to Cottage Isabel Field, top 5. 3-3 our score. Tristan McGowan back to work. And his first pitch ball there. Yeah, Chris, I really haven't seen a first pitch strike from either of these pitchers for a while these last couple of innings.
Yeah, definitely slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
That one right down the middle for McGowan. For the Pirates, their leadoff, Duffy's up at the plate.
Hasn't been a great series so far with Connor Duffy. We're quiet in game 1 and then didn't see action in game 2.
Yeah, 0 for 2 today with the strikeout.
And as I say that, Connor Duffy with a line drive into right field. That's going to get down past Durkin and going to be extra bases for Connor Duffy. So, announcer's jinx at its finest, Chris Jones.
Let's not do that again. I think we're not going to comment on people's play. Just observe merely.
Yeah, so Connor Duffy hurt us and proved us wrong right there. And
quick double for him.
We apologize. But a leadoff double for the Pirates, and that's going to bring up James Vaquero, who's get the record official at bat. A couple of walks for him so far. So lefty Vaquero up, infield in tight at first and third. And now they're trying to pick off Duffy. Not going to get him in time.
Ball fouled off there. Vaquero.
A 1 here to the Pirate catcher. The runner on second. Vaquero late on that one, but gave it a drive out the left field, but foul. Oh, 2 here. Nobody out here in the inning. Pitch from McGowan. Chopper to first. Peavy corrects it. And a simple toss over to McGowan. No problems this time as they record the out, but kind of works as a sacrifice there for Vaquero.
That's okay. The Pirates advance their base runner to third.
So Duffy at third. Kulo now back up. 0 for 2 with a line out and fly out so far. And a chance to regain the lead if you're Southwestern. Right or 90 feet from home, and still got 2 chances at least. First pitch to Kulo, high from McGowan, ball 1. That one runs inside, gonna get him right on the shoulder, and Kulo wears that one proudly as he'll walk over to first. And now runs with the corners with only 1 out. So that's going to bring up Christian Malillo, the left fielder, back to the plate. And now head coach Kyle Palmer going to call a time and have a chat with this whole infield. So we'll step away real quick while they talk right here.
And welcome back, everybody. He's about to get back underway here. Malio up to the plate. Bulldogs having a quick little talk there, you know. Coach Palmer probably trying to, you know, have his infield, you know, stay poised and, you know, remind them of what the task is at hand. And, you know, talking McGowan up, trying to get him to focus here and, you know, get through this inning here.
Especially with a guy like Malio at the plate. He's had a good series so far. Walked his last time up, and was that one of the 3 runs that came across that bomb from Stevenson last inning. So that one goes high again from McGowan. That's kind of where he's been missing mostly. Seen a lot of pitchers just staying high for Tristan, not getting him down over the plate and at the numbers. 2-1. That one outside, throw down to second, and Southwestern staying aggressive. That was Kulo showing off the wheels there, the first baseman.
Yeah, how about that?
And a good job there by Bourgeois just to laying out there to prevent the ball from getting past him, so the runner at third could stay put. That's Duffy over there.
Not the best toss from Green, but, you know, pretty tough today.
Yeah.
You can just see on the batter's box, you know, divots and mud and all that. It's tough sometimes when your footing isn't always underneath you. Pirates going to advance their guys.
And a little big swing and miss there. It's a much needed pitch for McGowan. Get him some mojo. Three-two and ball 4. Another one missing high from McGowan, as Malio will earn another walk to load the bases. So it's Duffy at third, Kulo at second, Malio at first for number 6, Trace Organ, with still only 1 out in the inning. First pitch fastball and a much needed first pitch strike for Tristan McGowan right there. Oh, 1 popped up, shallow center. Underneath it just came from Miller. They're going to test the arm, and nothing doing there. That's going to be an RBI sac fly for Southwestern as they get the 1 run. Oh, now they're saying he did not tag up. Wow. Bulldogs get the out at third. And that's when we're definitely going to need to see a replay, Nick, as... Oh. We'll see if we can get that one or not. Yeah, that we're not going to be able to see the replay there, but I'm guessing Duffy just took off a bit early.
I guess he missed the bag, or I'm not quite sure. I was kind of hanging my head there. I was like, oh, bummer, we gave up a run. And then all of a sudden, you know how fast something like that can change for you.
So the Bulldogs double them up.
Before we go to break, as you can see, doing some work there behind the plate, trying to fix it a little bit. So interesting to see. Got the rake out, so.
Go ahead and take a quick break here with the Bulldogs. Get out of the inning, double them up. Pirates do not retake the lead. We'll stay right here at 3-3 when we go to the bottom of the 5th. Please stay with us.
At Texas Lutheran University, we believe a better world is possible, and it all starts with you. For more than a century, we've been preparing students just like you to follow their dreams and embrace their potential. With small class sizes to facilitate relationship building and affordable tuition, we're committed to you. Because at TLU, you're not just a student, you're part of a community. TLU. Learn boldly, live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
Welcome back, folks, to Kyle Isbell Field as first pitch there from Rutherford. And warm-up pitches look pretty good, but right there, that one completely gets away from him.
It was just a hair bit outside there. I don't think that was anything too bad. Saw, at the change, some sand being thrown around, and trying to fix the box a little bit.
Yeah.
But, normally probably wouldn't play a game in these conditions, but
we're here.
We're here, and, kind of our hand was a little bit forced.
That one ran inside. Yeah, that got at Peavy's arm there. Adam Peavy took it like a champ and going to trot on over to first for a leadoff base runner. So Peavy's aboard. And now Braden Sprenzel will come up 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk so far. See if he can put one in play here in advance Peavy. This one chopped, but put in a pretty good spot. Braden Sprenzel trying to breed it out, and he will. No throw from Vaquero. That one's kind of chopped, and it died pretty quick with the mud in the infield. And Braden Sprenzel going to beat it out, showing off the wheels.
Good little spot there.
Yeah. And again, right now, any play in the infield, like the Bulldogs, you just got to put the ball in play right now because with the conditions right now, it's tough for anybody to react and get out of their stance and not slip or stumble or anything or something like that. And good play by Sprenzel. Beat it out, and that's might be the secret to success the rest of the way for the Bulldog offense.
And the other thing, Easton, is you absolutely don't want to be, behind if we go to a stoppage here.
Mm-hmm.
When you start and stop, not saying that we will, but there's always a chance on a day like today, and looks like people down there are complaining and all that. But when you come back after a stoppage, it's really nice when you're ahead. So. Bulldogs don't want to dig a hole.
That's a great point, Chris. 0-1 right now here to Cameron Miller back up after the infield base hit for Braden Sprenzel. And now check on Peavy and a poor throw. And Peavy's going to take off. Why not? Man, Adam Peavy going to get there in time. Look at Braden Sprenzel get over to second as well. Peavy, I'm telling you, he's been running a lot harder on those base passes. He's been aggressive.
He's liking that one.
He kind of got taken down after the pickoff attempt. They just kind of got tackled for a second and got up quick, didn't care.
That probably hurt the shortstop more than it hurt Peavy, though.
I would agree. Adam Peavy running hard right now, looking like a fullback running down there. Now 0-1 chopper, and Peavy going to come home. A bouncer collected nicely by Kulo, though, so they get the out at first, but Adam Peavy comes across to score, and it is 4-3 Bulldogs. And Adam Peavy earns that one. Get some love from boys in the dugout.
Absolutely. Great job there, from Cam Miller to advance Peavy and bring him in.
So Peavy scores. Sprenzel still at second. And 1 out in the inning for Chance Green. Hit count now 6 for the Bulldogs to the Pirates 3, and 1 error for TLU, none for Southwestern. Bunt shown from Chance Green, and that one going to come too hard or too hot off the bat. Going to go foul with some distance. Two here to Green. Sprenzel at second. That one low and in the dirt for a ball. Or really mud, rather, at this point.
Correct.
As much as it's probably not the most fun for the player, I think it's fun for us just seeing calling a game in different conditions and kind of
absolutely
the game being played a different way. As a little soft liner to first, going to be caught off the bat of Green, so he'll be retired for 2 down. And now Cooper Jen going to come up with 2 out, and Sprenzel still over there at second. Bulldogs retaking the lead, though. They're up 4-3, and we'd love to add one more.
Cooper Jen looking to turn over the lineup here. Add on to the Bulldogs' lead.
Did a good job of that last time when he drew a walk. Turn over to Godot. As Jen, ooh, that one hit on a rope out the left field. Nice contact there for Cooper, but it can go foul. A 1 here. As there's a righty warming up now for Southwestern, likely Shaw, who we saw stretching earlier. He's throwing now in the Pirate bullpen. 0-2 here to Jen.
Tennessee trying to get back into the game with Houston over on CBS, not TLU Plus.
0-2 here to Cooper Jen with 2 down. And Jen again with some good contact, but late this time. And going to stay foul.
A little bit outside. Good snag there from Vaquero.
1-2. Jen again going to foul it off. He's going to keep making Rutherford work here. And the pitch count for him starting to get up there.
Absolutely. Rutherford at 92 before seeing Jen, so creeping up to triple digits here.
And him and McGowan both really. Pitch counts definitely north of 80. And could be the last inning we see Rutherford as this one popped way up. Looks like it's going to stay in the field of play, though, as Vaquero trying to get underneath it, and he snags it, falling down to the ground, looking like Braden Sprensel earlier. And they strand Sprensel, as that's going to end the bottom of the 5th. We'll go top 6. Bulldogs get another run across to retake the lead 4-3. Please stay with us.
My name is Callie Stevens. I'm one of the assistant athletic trainers here at Texas Lutheran University. I work with the men's and women's soccer teams as well as baseball. I actually played college volleyball at a junior college in Dallas, Eastfield College, and kind of just trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And then decided to kind of stop playing for a little bit, and then played again at Oral Roberts University in Tulsa. And then once COVID hit, I think it was time for me to hang that part of my life up and just go ahead and decide what I wanted to do. And I wasn't really ready to give up sports, and but I also wanted to do something in the rehabilitation realm. And so I finished my undergrad at UTSA and applied at TLU for their Masters of Athletic Training program, and graduated with that and worked 1 year at a high school. Now I'm here. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that kind of goes on behind, I guess, the doors or behind the scenes. More than just like working the games, working the practices. I mean, when we're in here, we're constantly working on rehabilitation for acute, chronic, post-surgical injuries, making sure that we can get them back into play, and just working them from the beginning all the way to the end. But obviously, like the documentation and all that part of it. But I think one side of athletic training that kind of goes unnoticed is like even when we leave, our office, or when we leave the clinic, or when we leave the games or the practices, our job never really stops. Sometimes we have athletes messaging us questions, hey, like this is going on, what should I do? Or just being able to be on standby for those emergent issues, and just being a consistent advocate for your athletes, whether it's with a coach or outside world, just being there for them as much as you can. What inspired me, kind of like what I went on earlier, I grew up in the world of sports, playing volleyball most of my life, and then a few others as a child. I just always want to be surrounded by that aspect, but I also really enjoy helping people and rehabilitation and that whole process. And so just like being able to combine those two into my job makes my job so much fun. And of course, my past preceptors who have pushed me to be the best person I can be, my coworkers who consistently are giving feedback, and we're learning from each other and we're growing with each other, and that's just like a really big bonus and benefit to the job and to this to TLU in general. But obviously the athletes as well kind of keep me going, because if they don't show me the respect, or they don't work with me on things, or the same thing like with the coaches, my job wouldn't be as fun and as easy. But I feel like because of the atmosphere that I work in here, my job is so much better, and it's easy to keep going every day when you work with people like I do. I think the most rewarding part about athletic training as a whole is getting to see your athletes gain confidence after they get injured and they have to be out of play, and coming in and doing their rehab and seeing them gain confidence in themselves as they grow as an athlete through their injury, and then get back into play and just see all the hard work finally pay off. That is probably one of my favorites as athletic trainer in general. Now working with the teams that I do, I think that each of them show just like a great sense of like what family means between each other. And one thing that I appreciate is that extends just far beyond the players. That extends from player to coach, from players to athletic trainer, coaches to athletic trainer. It's just been a nice thing to really be included in the family aspect of each of the teams that I work with. So last thing I really want to like touch on,
All right, back to work here at Cod Isabel, top of the 6th. And in between innings now, we're starting to shuffle in our fresh dirt into the batter's box area. More so for the batters and these catchers to give them an even playing surface. I think Coach Palmer and the boys are pretty set on making sure we finish this game, and I like it. So 1-1 count here from McGowan and Coronado. Center fielder's 0 for 2 today with a fielder's choice and a strikeout. McGowan letting that pitch clock get all the way down and throws in a strike right down the middle. Fastball, just a heater. I think he was kind of waiting, and
he knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Love the confidence there from McGowan to go fastball right down the middle.
Mm-hmm. And just buying his time, lulling him to sleep, and then just delivers a strike right down the middle. And that's a big strikeout to start this 6th inning.
Another strike from McGowan.
He's at the 5 strikeouts now on the day.
Now Teff's up to bat for Southwestern.
Swing and a miss there, 0-2, as McGowan starting to get ahead of these batters this inning. The 0-2 flown out to
Good
deep
spot
left
there.
center. Yep, and that one's going to get down at the wall. Going to be extra bases for Tanner Teffs. What a swing there for the third baseman. A 1-out double for Teffs.
I mean, that was just perfectly kind of placed between Miller and Godot there.
So now Big O and Stevenson will come back up to the plate, and he
did crush that. Yeah, 3-run home run.
1 for 2. Runner on second here looking to get some more RBIs under his belt today. First pitch from McGowan. That one had some heat on him. McGowan, deep into this game now, it looks like he's almost getting stronger, at least in terms of his velocity, and not much has dropped off with how hard he's throwing. Do have a couple of arms warming up in that Bulldog bullpen, though, ready at any moment for McGowan, but he's starting to get stronger.
Yeah, humming here in this inning.
Oh, 2 outside. I'm going to get away from Tristan there.
Free base there for Tiffs.
Yeah.
Ooh, right there on the inside. I like that spot there from McGowan. 2-2 now. Minder Tefts is still on third. Good stop there by Chance Green.
Mm-hmm. While we're here, Chris, might as well get some SCAC updates from around the league right now. St. Thomas leading Schreiner 8-2 at home. And then Trinity kind of riding some demons against Dallas. They're up 12-0 after falling yesterday.
Could maybe see how they would want to do that. Looking potentially to sack fly here.
And way up there deep into right center.
Just not enough time.
Yeah. RBI number 4 now for Owen Stevenson as he brings home the sack fly. He's now responsible for all 4 Southwestern runs as this game back tied 4 apiece.
Two down now for the Bulldogs, and like we said, just don't ever want to go behind here. So Bulldogs gonna look to hold and see what they can do from here.
Now Ben Foyer back up, base is empty, and 2 down for the 9-hole hitter. As McGowan gonna blow that fastball right by him. I don't know if it's just me, Chris. I feel like McGowan's throwing harder than he was in the first inning.
I think he is. But, I think McGowan, is kind of leaving it all out there. His pitch count's now at 104. So, this could potentially be one of his last batters,
Yeah.
So I think he's trying to get through this inning and get his team in a good spot.
Uh-huh.
Fouled off into the parking lot there.
Hope my car's all right.
Yeah,
Or
1-2.
yours.
Oh, I park very far away.
1-2 count here between Foyer and McGowan.
Puts it in play right at the shortstop, and Bulldogs going to make the play. And that'll do it here from the top of the 6th. We'll be right back with you after the change.
For those who just don't know what athletic training is or kind of lost on what that whole idea is, it's just, like I said earlier, it's so much more than just handing out water or taping ankles. It's the rehabilitation, it's the advocacy for your athletes, it's the preventative care, it's the emergent care. It's so much more than just those little things. And so if I could encourage everybody or anybody to go into this field if they want to, or to just learn more about it, I think it's very beneficial to just understand what the job in itself is. And then obviously I'm just very thankful again for the coaching staff that I work with, especially with Eddie and Jimmy, Kerwin and Christina, and then Coach Palmer with the baseball team as well. But again, the family that they highlight, especially with men's soccer, it's just really nice to be a part of that day in and day out, and be included on things like that. Go Dogs!
And welcome back, everybody. Bottom of the 6th here. And Godot going to show bunt. That ball going to be outside for ball 1.
It's now the 4th at-bat for Mason Godot. A couple flyouts and then struck out last time. I believe the rain's kind of cooled off here.
Yeah, a little bit. Inside, though, given right there. You know, my phone still says it's supposed to get sunny here about 4 o'clock. You know, I just
don't believe it.
Don't believe it, but, you know, maybe there are people out there who get paid, you know, to do it. So who would I be to question them?
Yeah, quick shout out to the 103 fans we have watching. Always a good crowd here on the baseball stream. We appreciate it. TLU fans and Southwestern fans alike. 2-1 count here to Godot. That one's going to bounce away for another ball. As new pitcher in the game, by the way, for the Pirates. It's number 36, Walker Shaw, 5'9" freshman from Mansfield, Texas. Grace Prep Academy. As he gets some work here against Godot. Mason going to take him for a ride out to left field. That one's going to get down for a base hit.
So there goes Godot. And you know, right there with Godot, I want to bring up one of my favorite sayings, and it's about the law of averages. You know, Godot's a pretty good hitter for the Bulldogs. I think he's one of the leaders in the SCAC, you know, up there in hits for everybody. And, you know, finds a way right there, you know, 0 for 3. But, you know, statistically, that 4th one was supposed to be a hit, and it sure was.
Absolutely. We've been seeing it well, too. Outside of the strikeout at-bat, those 2 flyouts earlier were hard hit. So Mason finds himself at first, taking advantage of the new batter. As he's number 16 in batting average. Godot is at around 370.
Oh, there you go.
And 373. Shout out to Nick, giving us the stats. As now Chase Bourgeois back up. 1-1 count here against the new Pirate pitcher. Always tough, too, for a reliever coming in facing the top of the order when you're first entering the ball game. But, you know, Shaw has been warming up for a while as well. Try to look at Walker Shaw's numbers if we can. 6.57 ERA. 7th appearance out of the bullpen this year. He's pitched 12 innings, 13 earned runs, 11 strikeouts, 8 walks, 294 opposing batting average against him. So up and down freshman season, but
yeah,
clearly
young guy, you know. But they have, Coach Bunch has a lot of trust in him, you know, to have him in this situation. So
yeah, that and, you know, quite a lot of work he's already put in this season as just a freshman. So definitely one of the young guys the Pirates want to continue to get some work in as they see the potential in him, and they're almost letting him strike. Yeah,
Bourgeois.
I believe it's gonna be 3-1.
Correct.
The count. Yeah. Our home scoreboard here messed up a little bit. With Godot at first. That one going to run in. Ooh, that one's going to get the hand of Bourgeois. Going to be slow to get up after that one. Got the right hand of him, it looks like. He's going to try to walk it off. Takes the glove off there. Chase talking with Coach Palmer and some of the athletic trainers. Looks to be all right. Chase going to tough it out and walk on over to first.
Yep. And Cash Durkin coming up. Good part of the Bulldogs lineup here. 3-man, 3-hole guy. No outs, you know. Lots of room to work right here and an opportunity to get your guys in scoring position. You know, Cash Durkin, the smooth operator, as they say. So, good to see what he has for us right here at this at-bat. Good cut. That's going to fly. Just barely over the fence there. It was awfully close.
Yeah, pretty good effort from third baseman and shortstop of Southwestern getting over that was Tefts and Foyer.
Long way to go right there.
A lot of room, though, in foul territory here at Cod Isbell. Got some space out there.
Yeah, they do. Pretty big field.
The 405 dead center, 380 in both right and left center. Then you got 338 right out the foul pole.
Good
this
cut.
One, yeah, giving a ride out the deep center. That's going to go over the head of Coronado out there, and that's going to be 2 runs for sure and likely. Durkin going to stay there at second, but a 2 RBI double for Cash Durkin as he brings home a couple of Bulldog runs.
And Easton, might I add, smooth operator.
Durkin cashes 2 more runs.
He's going to bring 2 guys in, going to hand his gloves off.
Yeah.
And now Drew Burnett up to the plate, and another guy who can look to add to this Bulldog lead now. Bulldogs ahead, 6-4.
Still nobody out in the inning, too, so not a great outing out of the bullpen so far for Shaw. Walker Shaw gives up the base hit, the hit by pitch, and then the double.
Now, you know, Easton, if you would actually hand me those binoculars, I'm noticing another Pirate out there warming up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and get a look at that number there. Now, I believe that is number 61 out there.
It's going to be Greg Ferguson warming up. We saw Ferguson
we
yesterday.
Sure did. Maybe looking to close here for the Pirates.
Yeah, we see time called right here by Coach Bunch. And have a talk with his freshman Shaw. We'll take a quick break.
And he's already done, so they're going to bring out Ferguson. So,
man,
tough position to get put in right there.
He faced top 3 batters with
if
the
you're
Bulldogs.
Walker Shaw, yeah. Some of the best hitters in this league, but going to bring back Ferguson, and we'll be back with you after he warms up. And welcome back, everybody. And Drew Burnett here to face off with Greg Ferguson. Easton, we saw Ferguson yesterday. Pitched a lot of that second game for the Pirates, and that ball fouled off. And, with Ferguson, we're back to seeing, that kind of wider pitching release point.
Yep.
And so going to have more sliders, more movement across the plate.
And a 1-1 count here to Drew Burnett with Durkin at second. 2 runs already across this inning as Shaw's day was cut short. And now Burnett with the liner into the gap. That's going to keep on rolling all the way to the fence. What a rip from Drew Burnett. And that's going to be an RBI triple. Look at Drew Burnett continuing to put together a heck of a series and doing some push-ups while he's at it over there at third. How about Drew Burnett putting on a show right now?
Quick little triple, and that's going to bring in Cash Durkin and extend the Bulldogs' lead now 7-1. And bringing up Peavy, who is sometimes a designated hitter, with the runner in scoring position. So now the Bulldogs finding themselves in a good spot here.
Yeah. Now 4 RBIs this series for Burnett. Now Peavy's up. He's had a good day. 1 for 2 with the base hit and a run scored. It's now 7-4 Bulldogs. And still nobody out in this inning through the 2 pitchers they faced. Three hits already this inning. As now that one almost gets away from Vaquero. He's able to block it nicely there, and it's going to be 2-0 though. Here to Peavy. And that one with some heat on it below, ball 3. So, not a great showing so far in this 6th inning from the Southwestern pitching staff. Burnett over there at third. Peavy put it at 3-0 count. That's going to be ball 4. A 4-pitch walk for Adam Peavy. So he'll take his base again after the hit by pitch last time for him.
Now Braden Sprinsel, coming up to the plate for the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Not the best day at the plate for him, but has earned a walk and then reached on a kind of chopper. But would love to see Sprinsel.
Yeah, 1 for 2 on the day though.
Yeah,
not too bad. Looking to see what he can do with out and outs and runners in scoring position.
There's some good contact there from Braden. Go foul though.
And the Pirates have yet another guy out there warming up.
Yeah.
And if
looks like number 63 out there. That's Garrett Gwynn, the 6'7" junior from Bakersfield, California, warming up out there.
Interesting. That's pretty big for the mound. So interested to see. I would imagine he probably has some speed on him.
Yeah, Ferguson right now not quite looking as sharp as he was yesterday. Of course, now coming out of the bullpen in this way and the conditions being a bit different, as well as the game scenario. And it's 2-1 now to Sprinsel. This one chopped. Sprinsel going to get that one through, and that's going to be an RBI base hit for Braden Sprinsel as he joins in on the fun.
Going to turn the corner and go to third.
So how about Braden Sprinsel?
The Bulldogs add on again. Braden Sprinsel bringing in Drew Burnett. Going to extend the lead to 8-4. Bulldogs now up over the Pirates.
Yeah, the 4th run now across this inning. And since the 3rd, the Bulldogs have brought home a run in every inning. So you mentioned offense kind of comes in waves, but really today it's been just a consistent force of offense in this Bulldog squad.
Finding a way to make something happen the last 4 innings. Miller going to eat a strike there.
And now, Chris, at this point, I know it's still only only a 4-run game. As Pirates still in it, but with 0 outs this inning. I mean, the Bulldogs, if they can keep this up, I guess start thinking maybe run rule coming up on the 7th.
Absolutely. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves, though. Southwestern will probably try their hardest to stop that from happening, but you never know. And the Bulldogs can continue and open this thing up like they have.
The 2-1 here to Miller. That one outside. Good snag from Vaquero to keep it in front once again. He's done a good job of that today. Just going to go to 3-1 now to Miller. He's now the 7th batter to come up this inning for the Bulldogs. That one high and inside. Miller thought that was ball 4, but couldn't get the call there, so count's going to go full for Ferguson. That one going to go outside, ball 4. So Miller earns the walk against the full count, and it's going to reload the bases here. So Spence will move to second, and Miller now at first. PV over there at third right now for Chance Green.
Yeah, Chance Green.
Now more time going to be called by Coach Bunch. So we'll step aside.
And quick note, Ferguson's day going to come to the end, so Pirates going to bring in their number 63, Garrett Gwynn. So we'll be back with you here in a bit.
Welcome back, folks, to Cottisville Field. Of course, Chris mentioned the new pitcher on the mound for the Pirates. It's Garrett Gwynn getting some work now. And it does the pitching, but interesting note here, I just noticed on the roster, he's a switch hitter.
Oh.
Garrett Gwynn, so 6'7" from California, and can switch hit.
That's pretty nice frame there. And with Gwynn already, we're seeing here, going to be very effective at going high or low, And, his vertical movement, with that frame is going to be something to watch.
Yeah. Just coming out from a different angle.
Absolutely. And, coming from Ferguson, who's very much kind of left and right oriented.
So that one almost got away from Vaquero, but quickly found it to hold Peavy at third. Peavy at third, Sprenzel at second, Miller at first, Chance Green at the plate, facing off against Garrett Gwynn for the first time. 3-0 count, though, is no Pirate pitcher right now can just find the strike zone in this inning or avoid the Bulldogs hitting for contact. Still looking for the first out of the inning, and they haven't gotten it yet. That one, though, is a much-needed strike for the Pirates as they're trying to find some momentum as the Bulldogs have kind of seized control of this game here in the sixth. As bad as it looks, it's still only a 4-run lead as of right now. But it could get worse if the Pirates don't turn it around. 3-1.
Looks like Coach Bunch might be sending another pitcher to go warm up, and I believe he is.
Yeah.
That looks like number 43.
Let you check that, Chris.
Yeah. Payne Lokeridge from Salado, Texas. Freshman. So, interesting to see. We'll see, ultimately what Coach Bunch wants to do.
That walk, though, does score Adam Peavy, so 9-4 now the score. As Cooper Jen going to chop that one through.
Right through the gap.
And that's going to send one home and another one as Miller comes across as well with Sprenzel and a 2 RBI base hit for Cooper Jen. And the generational run continues. It's now 10-4 Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs starting to dominate here.
Yeah.
Coach Bunch over there kind of hunched over on that fence. He does not look very happy.
Hard to be right now. He's thrown out 3 pitchers this inning, and none of them have really.
Absolutely. The Bulldogs just kind of, it's one of those things, when you're pushing a boulder, up a mountain, the higher you push it up there and then, you kind of drop that boulder, the harder it's going to roll back down on you.
Mm-hmm.
So, tough for the Pirates to get back going and get their head straight. Little fly ball. Is it?
So 11-4 the score now. The sixth run now across for TLU after that 2 RBI base hit for Jen. 5 and 6 of the inning came across. Actually, that's now 7 runs across this inning to get to that total of 11. We were tied at 4 coming into this bottom of the sixth.
And reminder, still no outs.
Yep.
And Godot got caught reaching there for that strike, so 0-2 count now to Mason Godot.
So we've now batted around now. Godot led off this inning with the base hit and a run scored. And now 1-1 count here, or 1-2 count to Godot against Garrett Gwynn. I'm trying to pick up Garrett Gwynn's numbers. 5.09 ERA, appearance number 8 out of the bullpen. Not a bad season for him, but trying to pull it together here for his Pirates. And there he's going to get a strikeout against Godot, and Mason not too happy about that one. So he'll head back to the dugout, and the Pirates finally record their first out of the inning, the second time through the order.
Absolutely. And I can't remember if we started with Godot or
we started with Godot.
Was it Godot?
Mm-hmm.
So, Bulldogs now looking to go.
So 11-4 still the score. Runners at first and second, Jen and that's Green over there at second. And now Bourgeois up. 1-0 count here. Chase was hit by a pitch in the hand
Earlier
this inning. Felt like an hour ago.
No kidding. All the stoppages.
And that Bourgeois, pretty well hit, but caught over there by someone in the bullpen of Southwestern. And unfortunately, that's not going to get them their second out of the inning. But making a 1-1 count now.
Tennessee trying to make things interesting with Houston late, but probably not, actually. Houston looking to get to the Final Four. Shout out to all our Cougs fans in the audience. Lots of players from Houston watching. Or, I guess, families, excuse me. 1-2 count now to Bourgeois. Bit outside, maybe looking to take a shot there at first.
2-2.
Yeah.
And Bourgeois laces that one
Right
over the head of
into
the
the
third
gap.
baseman. Yeah, that's put in a perfect spot.
That's fair.
That's going to bring home a couple more Bulldog runs. Green scores. Around comes Cooper Jen. Bourgeois won't try for 3 for once. A 1-out, 2 RBI double for Chase Bourgeois. And the onslaught continues here in the bottom of the 6th. That's now 9 runs across this inning. It is now 13-4 TLU.
Bulldogs taking a commanding lead here in the bottom of the 6th.
And now Cash Durkin will come up with Bourgeois at second. Durkin earlier this inning had a 2 RBI double as well. And he's having himself a heck of a day. Durkin's 3 for 4 overall with 3 RBIs and a run scored. And he's reached base, or 3 for 3. He's reached base every time he was hit by a pitch in his first at bat. So Durkin's been on a tear in this one. And we'll look to continue that here with the way this inning's gone. Not sure if I've seen a 9-run inning in a while. Durkin, first pitch swinging, going out deep towards center, going back to the wall, and that's going to be another extra base hit for Cash Durkin. Bourgeois will get called home by Coach Parrish, and slides in through the mud. Chase Bourgeois brings home run number 10 of the inning, a RBI double for Cash Durkin. That's now 4 RBIs in the game for him.
Surprised Coach Bunch hadn't changed up again.
He got all of that one, too. For a second, I thought Durkin might have gone yard out the center.
Me too. I thought that was going to carry over there and just barely bounced into the warning track there.
So now back to work here for Drew Burnett, as Drew had an RBI triple last time up. He'll try to continue to swing a hot bat. 14-4 our score now. And now at our home field scoreboard, we can't even put 10 runs on there for a single inning. Sent out a 0 is shown underneath the 6th inning for the Bulldogs. 13 hits now as well. As Burnett swings and get a piece of that one. Gonna get the back screen foul.
Just a dominant performance right now from the Bulldogs.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, as we talk about just how quick the Bulldogs can explode.
Yep.
And I think this inning is just a prime example. I mean, it's really hard, you know. You know, it's like swinging a 2x4 at the baseball right now.
Yeah, pretty much. As we got 1-1 count here now to Burnett. You know, we've been kind of jealous of this baseball team, Chris. I'm always scoring these runs on the road, but now you get to see one of these offensive showcases at home.
Absolutely. Nice treat for us.
1-1, and Burnett going to foul it off hard. Down the line. Going to be 1-2 now. One ball, 2 strikes as Burnett doesn't like that one as he looks at ball 2. Durkin, pretty big lead over there at second as Burnett going to swing through that strike 3. Second strikeout now for Garrett Gwynn, up and down in his appearance, but been a little more productive than the other 2 pitchers this inning. As he gets his second strikeout and second out. And now going to bring back up Adam Peavy, who drew a walk and scored one of the runs. As Peavy laces that one into center field. Another base hit for Adam Peavy. Going to send home Cash Durkin. And a 2-out RBI base hit for Adam Peavy. As the Bulldogs continue to tally them up here this inning.
Absolutely.
15-4 now.
Yeah, they're dogpiling the runs on right now.
They are. Haven't quite seen anything like this 4 years I've called games here. I mean, I've seen a lot of great offensive performances from the Bulldogs, but 15 runs and 11 in one inning. I'm starting to wonder now what's the record for runs in an inning for this Bulldogs team ever.
It's probably a good question to be asking, and I'm sure we might have an answer for that very soon.
So 2 out here in the inning still. After the RBI base hit for Adam Peavy, who's going to get pinch ran for, it looks like. Trying to get a number over there of who's running for him. Looks like number 2 for the Bulldogs, Carter Underwood. Going to run for Peavy. You know, Peavy's, I think, earned the right to take a breather on the bench. He's been having himself a day, as have all the Bulldogs.
Running hard.
Mm-hmm. You know, the way Peavy's been running, I'm sure he might have been a little disappointed he wasn't able to run some more.
Uh-huh.
Especially out in the mud today.
The ball fouled off again there from Braden Sprinzel.
You know, in a game like this, too, Chris, the vibe's just kind of completely different on both sides of the spectrum. The Bulldogs all on their feet, having a good time, laughing, even in the rain. And, you know, in conditions like this, with the way the game's going, it's not too fun right now on that Southwestern side.
No.
And Sprinzel kind of pokes one there, high and shallow, left field. Catch made over there by Foyer, and we will finally put an end to this bottom of the 6th. 11 runs across for the Bulldogs this inning, as they are now ahead by a commanding 11 runs. 15-4 our score. We'll go top 7. Please stay with us. All right, folks, welcome back. Run rule potentially in effect here as the Bulldogs can just not allow more than one run this inning. We're going to close things down early. I'm sure Southwestern might not mind that either with the way this game's gone and taking a turn. As new pitcher in the game for the Bulldogs, it's number 32, I believe, yes. Leo Prado for the Bulldogs. Get some action here, trying to close things out. Yeah, top of the order due up for the Pirates. It's Duffy, Vaquero, and Kulo. The Pirates haven't been batting in about 30 minutes. Maybe
been
more.
A little while, yeah. Quite an inning the Bulldogs just had. Pouring in 11 runs.
14 hits to the Pirates, 4. Two, little slider, and strike 3. Got him looking on a pitch from Prado. Put that one in a good spot. And that's out number 1. And Prado this season for the Bulldogs. ERA at 5.63, 1-0 record. Been a bullpen guy all year. This is his 6th appearance. Pitched 16 innings. A chance for him to get some work in before this weekend comes to a close with the Bulldogs. Look to be on a commanding sweep over the Pirates. They played some exciting ones yesterday, but here today, Chris, it's been all Bulldogs. That's impressive. You think you might. That's what good teams do, though. They're not getting comfortable after getting 2 hard-earned wins yesterday. You think maybe you come out a little slow in this one, but been quite the opposite.
And yeah, I was quite worried, honestly, with the conditions and how the Bulldogs like to start slow, but starting in the second inning, they really have blown this thing open.
And these are 3 quality wins, too. All at home. You knew you wanted to win this series, and the Bulldogs do that emphatically and some with the sweep. Hopefully coming soon here. Just need 2 more outs to get it done. And try to keep pace with Concordia and Trinity. Don't believe the Bulldogs have faced Concordia yet this season, but they have played Trinity at home. The count now 3-1 here between Vaquero and Prado.
Houston going to advance to the Final Four.
Vaquero's going to advance to first base.
Yeah.
Chris, on the walk.
Absolutely. Coming up to bat for the Pirates, number 40, Kulo, first baseman. 0 for 2 on the day.
Hit by a pitch last time up. That'll be the last time we see the oxidized copper bat, Chris, the Statue of Liberty color.
Absolutely.
It's 2 outs away here. Got a 1-out base runner with Vaquero at first, earning the walk. His 3rd of the day. Potter would like a little bit of mutual respect. The Bulldogs kind of pitched around him today. That one going high from Prado, 2-0. Kind of a game within a game right here. Chance for get a new pitcher in there as well. I like the move by Palmer to, pressure but not pressure on Prado. You want to make sure you don't give up more than 1 run this inning and close out and almost earn yourself the save, even though it won't count as one.
Yeah. Bulldogs just need to find a way to get through this one. The last thing you want to do is extend a game like this.
Good pitch there, though, from Prado. Drops in there for a strike, 2-2. This one flown out towards right field and got to go out of play, foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch from Prado. Fastball. Not going to get the call. Put in a good spot, though, against Kulo.
Full count now.
Yeah, this one driven out to the right center gap. Put it in a pretty good spot. On the move. Not going to be able to get over there. It's Cameron Miller. It's going to get down on the wall. Going to get it in quick. They're going to send home the runner. The throw to the plate. Not going to be in time, and that's going to be a run for Southwestern. So now going to bring the lead down to 10 as the Pirates get a little run to make them feel a bit better about how this game has gone. 15-5 now. And now a little bit of pressure on the Bulldogs as they want to keep the run rule going. If it's down to 10, they got to keep it here. Find a way to get 2 outs with the runner on second. RBI double for Kulo, and Vaquero comes around to score. Pitch from Prado, and a nice one there, a little cut fastball in there for a strike. 0-1 to Malio. This one stays upstairs for a ball, 1-1. Prado, just a freshman, 5'11", 175 from New Braunfels, Texas. Went to San Marcos High School, though.
Absolutely.
Former Rattler. Is that one back up the middle? Bourgeois off his glove. And now they're going to send Kulo home. And that is going to be 15-6 now. And some frustration on the Bulldogs side of things is that's now going to extend this game some more as the Pirates get the lead under 10. It's now 15-6. I think Coach Palmer and the boys ready to head home, but now we got some more baseball still to play.
You know, looking around, I think it's a substitution. We got Halpin still out there.
We do, yeah. After he was pinch ran for. So a couple runs come across. That's the last thing the Bulldogs wanted as this game continues. Credit Southwestern, though, for continuing to fight in this one and not just lay down. That was a Malia with the RBI base hit. And Kulo is the extending run back up the middle there. Just going to go to first with it. Could have maybe gotten the lead runner by Prado, but we'll take the out. As that's Orgon grounding out there. And it's going to move Malia over to second, though, for Coronado. But, you know, as a slight disappointment this is, and not end the game here. You know, the Bulldogs could easily rattle off a couple of runs next inning and walk it off.
Absolutely. And, you know, as unfortunate as it is, they're probably excited to get right back up there and go bat.
Mm-hmm.
So
why not?
See
some
if
more
the
reps.
Bulldog party will continue, you know.
That one goes high, 2-0.
One day, somebody's going to stop.
2-0 count here, long wait before the throw. Pitch clock getting down there as it's foul tipped. Two-one pitch from Prado outside, ball 3. One more out of the inning here, but Southwestern did their job to extend the game a bit more. Staying alive, 15-6, with 15-4 coming into this inning. The Bulldogs just needed to avoid giving up more than one run to end this one, but Pirates get 2. And now Prado lays in a much-needed strike there to run the count full.
Need your best pitch from Prado right here. Full count here with 2 down. And stop the bleeding here and get back to the offensive side.
Payoff pitch, 2 down, incoming. 3-2. And another one going to be fouled off. So we'll try it again, Chris.
Absolutely.
That one will be ball 4, so Coronado gonna earn the 2-out walk. Yeah, it's gonna put a couple runners aboard now for Tanner Tefts, who had a double last time up. A bit high from Prado. 1-0. Needing to just get one more out of the inning. Slider gets away. Maybe 2-0. Change up, nice pitch there for Prado. Finds his zone, 2-1. This one popped up right field. Going a little deep there and right, but Cash Durkin makes the play for out number 3. But more baseball to be played. 15-6. The Pirates get a couple runs back to avoid the run rule being in effect. So we will go bottom 7. Will the Bulldogs get to swing the bats one more time? Please stay with us. Welcome back, folks, to Cott Isbell Field. As you know, Chris, I know you said that you didn't believe the sun was going to come out at 4, but you know, sky's starting to clear up just a little bit as Cameron Miller going to lead off this inning with a base hit. Bulldogs just need one run to run rule the Pirates. I know it ended a bit prematurely last half inning, but the offense can still get it done here.
Absolutely. And a little change here behind the plate earlier. We missed it, but Cole Craven's coming in for Chance Green here.
Yeah. Did the catching last half inning.
Caught in game 2 last night. Did a good job. So
substitution, yeah. Extra work for a few guys late in this one as that one runs inside on Cravens for a ball. 1-0. This one, Cravens, liner right at Kulo and going to be able to tag Miller as well. So the Dogs get doubled up. That one's unfortunate. Hard hit ball and ends up backfiring for 2 different Bulldogs as 2 are down now and the base is empty. That's
and that couldn't have been any unluckier right there. And that is quite unfortunate for Cravens.
So now Cooper Jen going to come up. Jen had a 2 RBI base knock in the fun 11-run inning the Bulldogs had in the last inning there. Probably a new pitcher for the Pirates as well. I've seen about 5 already this game. This is
Payne Lockridge.
Yeah.
Freshman out of Salado, 160, 6'1".
As Jen will line that one past Kulo, not able to snag that one. And Jen
he's going to turn. That's going to be another triple.
Yeah, Jen on the move, and Cooper Jen with a 2-out triple. And Cooper Jen says, "I want to still go home early."
Cooper Jen wants to get his feet up, man. A long 2 days of baseball.
Yeah.
Well, nice hit right there.
Chance for Mason Godot now to walk it off, so to speak, and this game early here in the 7th. 1 run away from that 10-run difference. With 2 outs, so kind of another game within the game, Chris.
Absolutely, Easton.
And that one goes way behind Godot, and Cooper Jen will come across to score, and that's going to end things here at Cott Isbell Field. An exciting yet anticlimactic finish to this one, Chris.
Do you know what, East? Bulldogs win. That's all I have to say. And what a great display. Dominant performance here in Game 3. And the Bulldogs get the sweep against conference rival, the Pirates. How about that, Easton?
16-6, the final. Bulldogs all over the place today. They took it to Southwestern. A couple of exciting finishes yesterday in the doubleheader, and then a Bulldog onslaught of offense here in Game 3. 16-6, the final. Chris, any final thoughts on this one?
Man, it's just been a great weekend of baseball, and, you know, they'll regroup and get ready to go as they take on, I don't know who it's next, but as they work for this next series.
Yep. 20-7 now the Bulldogs improved to 13-5 in conference, while the Pirates dropped to 8-9 in SCAC play, 10-16 overall. Bulldogs get the sweep over Southwestern and
we
take
just
Game
had
3.
A look at the schedule. It's at St. Thomas next weekend.
All right, and that's, I believe, St. Thomas. It's going to be a tough battle, 4th in the conference, so big-time road series in H-Town next week for the Bulldogs. But that's going to do it here on this Sunday afternoon. From Chris Jones, and I'm Easton Allen signing off. Bulldogs take the series and sweep the Pirates 16-6.